Don't forget to support me on Patreon to make more videos like this possible.
Hey there. For a guy who's seriously recovering from something, I sure have been making a lot of use of this camera. Anyway, by this point, I should have already posted the video on the Nautical Fembot upgrade kit, which turns Beast Hunter Starscream into Nautica. Of course, that being said, I've always been curious as did anyone ever actually make an actual third-party Nautica figure? Well, it turns out that Shapeways once again had the answer. With minibot Quantus. Yes, this little pile of parts in my hand. It's basically another kit. This one is a full standalone action figure that you can build yourself. And when complete, it should be roughly the size of a Legends figure. So we're going to do that. Now, when I ordered the kit, for some reason, this is one of the arms. It was not attached to the sprue. Although this is a really weird sprue setup. It's just rings that everything is dangling on. I guess it's the same material. But this part wasn't attached to the sprue. This, from what I can see, is the left arm. But it didn't have a mate. So, missing the right arm. I sent a notification to Shapeways via their help center. By the time this video goes up, I will either have received a refund and not posted this, or Shapeways will have addressed the problem and they would have sent me an arm. It's such a tiny little thing to not include in the package. Anyway, I figure I'm going to go ahead and paint all the parts first, and then I'm going to do a build in front of the camera, because it basically is a kit. Now, unlike the Nautical Fembot upgrade kit, there are very detailed assembly instructions that the creator left on the TFW2005 website. So, that's one plus. Alright, so, let's do that. Okay, so here we are a couple weeks later. Okay, so here's the thing. Remember when I said that it was just missing an arm? It turns out that actually half the kit was missing. Everything below the waist, it was missing. So I brought this up with Shapeways. They apologized and they sent me another kit, which was amazingly missing exactly the same parts. So I brought this up with the creator of the kit itself. She took some time to examine it, and she found that there was a flaw in the sprue construction that was causing the back half of it to fall off the rest. So when these people at Shapeways manufacture it, half the kit would simply fall off while it was being manufactured, and then they'd only pack up half of it and send it to me. So she told me that she's fixed this issue with the sprue so that in the future people who order this kit shouldn't have any problems with it, so don't be afraid to order this kit yourself. And as a bonus, she was able to get them to run me just the parts that were missing. So this is the back half of the figure. It contains the legs, the little cockpit window, the wrench, all that stuff. So I can finally get back to making this whole little kit thing the way I wanted to. So, let's get to the building section. Okay, so here we are in the build portion of the video. These are all the parts. As you can see, I painted them to be, to look more like Nautica, as this kit is sent to you blank. I emulated the color scheme as best I could, based on a combination of the comic book artwork that I referenced, the actual reference, the 3D picture that is posted on the TFW2005 board where this Nautica figure is advertised, and of course the Shapeways upgrade kit that I got from Glog Shapeways store. So yeah, that's
all the parts are painted. I used lilac to get the highlights around the turbines. The turbines themselves are yellow. I used various shades of gray for some mechanical bits. I painted white onto the parts of her, and then the white paint got absorbed into the plastic, creating that very light shade of purple that I like for those parts. And yeah, so now we're gonna do the building part. So I'm gonna move all these things just off camera and then pull them in one at a time. And off to the other side, I have the assembly instructions so I don't screw anything up. So we're gonna assemble this next. Alright, so with that kit that was I painted, I kind of did a test fitting of 2 of the parts, and they went together so well I couldn't pull them back apart without risking damaging anything. So these are from the other Shapeways kit that was also sent to me incomplete, missing the same parts. So I figured I'd use them right here just to illustrate step 1, which is getting this piece into the torso. This is the piece that the head will connect into. And it can be a little bit tricky to connect this piece because you actually do have to like flex the plastic to get the pegs lined up. So it's not really elegant. You just gotta find where the first hole is and then just kind of rotate it in. Whoa, that's terrifying how much that's stretching. And I'm not even using this part for the completed piece. Come on. What did you do? Get in there. I swear, it didn't feel like it was this hard the first time I did it. Do we put it in from above? Whoa. That's surprisingly difficult to do. So yeah. Okay, there we go, it's in. Yes, it's in. And it moves. And I didn't put it in backwards or anything. Yeah. Because of some mold flashing, I didn't bother to clip away. It's not really moving properly, but you know, now we're moving on to the part that I did it correctly on. So now we move on to the second part, which is getting the hips in. So the hips are a simple mushroom cap peg, so you easily just push that in. Should clip into place. And look at that. Isn't that pretty? And yes, it is a perfectly functional waist joint now. Perfect. So now we return to the back again. And oh boy, this is where you gotta put in the little cockpit window. This is one of the pieces that was missing from the kits that Shapeways sent. So once again, I had to thank Fake Buster, the creator of this kit, for getting the parts to me. Because Shapeways was all set to just, after failing the second time, they were all set to just give me a refund and go home. But Fake Buster didn't give up on me. And there we go. The cockpit is in. It's another thing where you have to kind of stretch the back and it gets a little scary, but it's in there. It also is another articulated piece. So there we go. Now we set this aside for a bit as we make the arms and legs. The arms are pretty simple. You know that it's the front of the arm because it looks like this, and there should be a peg on the back. So this is going to be the left arm. It's the left shoulder and, you know, the bicep part. And you know what the left arm is on this because, you know, that's a left hand, obviously. So when I first got the kit, the ball joint was a little loose, so I used a bit of Bondic to make it a bit tighter. Might have overcompensated a bit. Okay, that is in. Yep, that is in, and it functions as a nice ball jointed elbow, meaning it has a built-in bicep swivel. That's all well and good. So let's go ahead and do the same for the right arm. Beautifully done. Look at that. And then the legs. Now, there is a notation on the instruction that the legs have sculpted in L and R's on them, so you know which one's the left leg and which one's the right leg. I'm guessing because at first glance the legs would look symmetrical and you can just swap whichever one you want, but apparently there is you know, some subtle differences that would mess with the way that the figure works. You know which, on the shin part, you know which one is the left leg because it's the one that has this circle on it. The right leg doesn't have that, it has its complement, see? So it's another case where you simply plug in a ball joint into a ball socket. And this joint came to me nice and tight. I didn't need to use any Bondic to make that ball a little bigger, so yay. Again, if some of your ball joints do seem to be a bit loose, I use Bondic because when all you have is a hammer, but you can also use clear nail polish, or you can risk it and try the super glue trick. And this is the foot. This is a little clip that goes down there. It just seems to be a simple case of push. The plastic is just soft enough to flex out of the way until it clips into place. And then you have a foot, and look at that. It has an ankle rocker. An ankle rocker on a Legends class toy. That's unheard of. But we have it. Alright. And we're going to do the same thing with the other leg. This one has the R, so you know it's the right leg. And in you go. I said in you go. In you go. In you went. It's in. See? And look, it affords a really deep knee bend too. That is a well-made ball joint. Good on ya, Fake Buster. And again with the foot, you just kind of push it in. It clips into place. Again, we're allotting the plastic tolerances, but everything does seem to hold up. Alright. Now we are assembling the head, because this thing has quite the head. Alright, so there's another notation in the instructions that there is an almost impossible to see, but if you look closely enough, there is an arrow on the neck peg which points upward, and it lets you know which parts go where. So it lets you know that the top part of the helmet, which looks like this, is to plug into this clip and not the other clip. And there we go. So then we put in the face. The face is just like the feet, there's a hole here and pegs here. So you just kind of push it in and it'll snap into place and be a face. Then these things, these are her earpieces. The one with an antenna is her right ear, so that's how you tell those apart. Just gotta, you know, stick that on like thus, and then repeat the process on the other side, and there you go. Then you put in, then you put the back of the head in. These straight, smooth parts on the back of the legs go here. Then all of that can curl up. Forms a head. Yep, forms a head. I feel like maybe these side pieces could peg into place a little better because they seem a bit wobbly. I don't know what I'm doing. Yeah, they just kind of seem to sort of rest there on a wing, on a wing and a prayer. The antenna doesn't really come up very far past her head. And of course, the last piece on the head is going to be her iconic visor. There's 2 holes on the side of her helmet, which the visor pegs into. And that is a very nicely articulated visor. See, it goes up, and come down over her face, goes up to reveal her face. Very nice, very nice. And this is where the instructions tell you to put everything onto the torso. So we got the torso here, and we're going to put the legs in place. Oh, you know what? I forgot to cut off some mold flash. Give me just a sec to get rid of that. Okay, with the mold flash removed, let's put in the legs. Simple poppity ball joints. You've got to feel that nice little solid click, that satisfying click of a ball joint getting pushed in. It's on? Yeah, looks like it's on. Okay, it's on. And then the other side. Come on, get on. Get. Nope, that friction's off as soon as I move it, so it's not on. Yeesh. Maybe this should have been specified to do with the instructions before we attached the waist to the torso. Yeah, that just frictioned right the heck off. Looks like the purple coloring that they put on the plastic. There we go. That was a nice satisfying click. Okay. So those are now on. I actually kind of have to use the ankle tilts because the way you got to use the ankle tilts a bit to make it stand because those shins are so thick that you have to keep it in an A stance or else they just press into each other. All right, hopefully the arms peg in a little bit easier. I used Bondic to make the shoulder joints a little bit bigger because they were really floppy when I test fitted them. Okay, got a left arm. Got... I'll give this sort of 3D printed plastic from Shapeways. It's a lot tougher than you'd think it is. And the body is assembled. Oh god. I think I used a little bit too much Bondic. I made those joints too big. And then the head simply pegs into place. It's a simple peg. Alright, we are almost done with our little Nautica. Cause all that's left to do now is to peg in her turbines. These little holes are supposed to be on the top, and they curve so that they go inwards like this. So ball joint number 1 and ball joint number 2, and there we go. And then of course Nautica has her Omni Wrench, which is a nickname that I gave it. I don't know if it has a different name in the comic because I barely read a couple of the issues that she's in, but look at that. She holds it just fine. Okay, so that is the assembly of the Nautica kit. Alright, so let's set the camera up to do a proper review of the figure itself, which will be the topic of my next video.